I'm Anil Kumar, and here is an excellent question on polynomial functions. The question is, there are two rectangular prisms. The length of the first prism is 2 centimeters greater than its width. Height of the first prism is 1 centimeter less than its width. In comparing the two rectangular prisms, the length of the second prism is double the length of the first prism, and width of the second prism is 2 centimeters less than the width of the first prism, and the height of the second prism is 2 centimeters greater than the height of the first prism. If the total volume of both the prism is 70 centimeter cube, what are the dimensions of the first prism? So that's your question. You can pause the video, read it carefully, sketch, and then find the answer. Now in such questions, they may not be so difficult, but the most important part here is to read carefully, sketch the diagram, and then form the equation. So let's go through all this once again, right? There are two rectangular prisms that we understand. So let me sketch two rectangular prisms. So let us say this is the first one for me, right? So that becomes the first one. Okay. Now, okay, let me just make it like this. Okay, that is the first one, and then let me also sketch another rectangular prism right here. Now, obviously, these dimensions are not as per the scale, but they will just write x, y, z, and then figure it out. Okay. So let us say these are our rectangular prisms. Now, as we read, we should write down the dimensions so that we don't really get mixed up in numbers. So it says there are two rectangular prisms. The length of the first prism is 2 centimeters greater than its width. So let the width be x, right? So we'll have x, and length is 2 centimeters more, so it is x plus 2. The height of the first prism is 1 centimeter less than its width. So height is x minus 1. So we get the first prism dimensions. In comparing the two rectangular prisms, the length of the second prism is double the length of the first prism. So this is twice. So we'll just do 2x plus 4, right? So 2 times all of them. So second prism is double the length of the first prism. The width of the second prism is 2 centimeters less than width of the first prism. So 2 less. So that means x minus 2. 2 less than the width of the first prism. The height of the second prism is 2 centimeters greater than the height of the first. So 2 more than this will mean it is x minus 1 plus 2 makes it x plus 1. So it is x plus 1 for us. So these are the dimensions of our rectangular prism, right? Now it says total volume of both prisms is 70 centimeter cube. So that is prism 1, so we'll say volume 1 and volume 2, we'll just add them up. So we get our equation, volume 1 plus volume 2 is equals to 70. Volume is length times width times height. So we'll do x times x plus 2 times x minus 1 and add the other dimensions volume. So multiply the three dimensions given to you, x plus 1 times x minus 2 times 2x plus 4, right? So that is it. Now you need to expand them carefully. So let us expand. So we'll just multiply these two first, keep x away. Some of you can factor out x plus 2 or some common factor if there is any. There is none. Okay. There is no common factor. So that is good. Let's just multiply. X square, x minus 1 is minus x, 2x, plus 2x, okay, minus 2. And here, let me multiply these two first, and then we'll multiply with the third one. So we have x plus 1, and in brackets, we have 2x square plus 4x minus 4x minus 8. Okay, let's open this up. Combining minus x and 2x. So first term is x squared, so we get x cubed. Now minus x plus 2x is x. So when I multiply with x, I get plus x square minus 2x plus. Now here we have 4x minus 4x, which is 0. So we are left with 2x square minus 8, correct? So 4x, this is 0. So we'll multiply x with the first term, which is 2x cubed, then x with the last term, which is minus 8x, right? So let me clearly show you here what has happened, that these two terms, when you combine, it is 0, right? So we got these two terms multiplied by x. Now we'll multiply them by 1. So we get plus 2x square, and 1 times minus 8 is minus 8. Now let us combine the like terms. X cubed, so we get 2 and 1, 3x cubed. Square terms, 1 plus 2 means, this is already taken care of. X square plus 2x square gives us 3x square. So plus 3x square. The x terms, we have minus 2x plus 8x gives us minus 10x. Minus 10x. And the numbers we're left with minus 8. And all this is equals to 70, correct? Now what we can do is we can take 70 to this side and then write 0 equals to 3x cubed plus 3x square minus 10x minus 78, right? So 70 goes this side, minus 70 minus 8 is minus 78. Now you get a polynomial, correct? This polynomial, you need to apply the remainder theorem and figure out what will give you 0. So what are the factors of 78? One thing you should also know from here, x minus 2 indicates that x has to be greater than 2, right? Otherwise this dimension will be 0. So x has to be greater than 2. Now 78, what are the factors of 78? 7 plus 8 is 15. So you could have 3 as your factor. So let us try p of 3. So what is p of 3 equals to? So if I write 3 here, what do I get? I get 3 times 3 cubed plus 3 times 3 square minus 10 times 3 minus 78 equals to how much? So we can use calculator and find this answer, right? So let's use the calculator. If it is 0, then 3 is the factor. So 3 times 3 cubed is 81. Let me write 81. 3 square plus 3 is 27. So we'll write plus 27. Minus 30. And then we have minus 78. So that is equals to 0, right? So that is 0. So it indicates that 3 is a factor. Since 3 is a factor, x is equals to 3 is our solution, right? So this implies that x is equals to 3 is our solution. Now if x is equals to 3, we can substitute the value here and find the dimensions of the first box. So we can say dimensions of box number 1 are x is 3, so we get 3, and since the units are in centimeters, we'll write centimeters. By this 3 plus 2 is 5, right? 5 centimeters. By 3 minus 1 is 2, so 2 centimeters, correct? So that becomes the dimensions for our first box. Well, you can actually find the dimensions of the second box also, and then add their volumes and verify that the combined volume of these two boxes is indeed 70 centimeter cube. I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.